Good morning, everyone. I'm welcoming you all today in our mobile podcast studio that is today located in World Trade Center since we're participating in Najah exhibition. And I have a very special guest today. I'm very honored to have Professor Mai from Wollongong University as one of my speakers on this show. Thank you so much for agreeing to participate. I'm very happy and very glad to have you here and very excited for the upcoming episodes.
So my name is Mai ElBarachi. I'm currently the head of School of Computer Science in University of Wollongong in Dubai. I've been at that university for 8 years, and before that, another 7 years at Zayed University. I've taught at multiple universities in Canada and the UAE, and I am a computer scientist, researcher, and professor.
Basically, Women in Tech. You are the headline of the initiative that I'm trying to push, which is Women in Code. Well, that makes it more honorable to have you here because you're the main hero of the whole topic. So, shall we jump into the questions? Okay, so the first questions that me and my team are very keen to find out about is what inspired the University of Wollongong to integrate the technology into the educational program?
Excellent question. I think at the University of Wollongong in Dubai, we realized very early on that we are in the era of digital transformation, which is radically changing all industries. So therefore, our mission is really to equip the students with the right skills and core knowledge to strive in this rapidly changing, landscape. So one of the key differentiating factors of our programs actually is that they're very focused on employable skills and industry alignment. So to be agile and constantly adapt with the changing landscape, we do a lot of different initiatives. One of the things we do is we're really keen on exposing the students to enterprise-grade tools. So we want them to hit the floor running once they graduate. They're ready to work with the same tools and technologies that the big industry players are working with. Another thing that we do also is we bring in industry-sponsored projects for the capstone. And you guys are part of that.
Yes, we're part of that program.
Yes, so for their capstones or graduation projects, instead of the students coming up with the ideas, we bring our industry partners to pitch ideas and problems.
To challenge the students, basically.
And this is very exciting because the students get to act as software developers and the industry partner get to act as clients. And it gives them a flavor of or a hint.
They get the direct market experience while they're still at the universities, which is amazing. How did your student react to this shifting?
So I think the reaction was very positive because what they can sense, they get a sense of not only they need knowledge, but they also need the skills and experience, but they also have this transition. They get a feeling of what real world is going to be, and not so they're easily transitioning from being a student to being a working professional. They appreciate a lot the exposure to the tools, the exposure to the industry partners. We also have a flagship event that we do twice a year. It's called our Innovation Fair. So UWD's Innovation Fair, where they actually get to demonstrate these projects to the industry judges. And what's really cool is that they present the projects as marketing a commercial product,
So they act as entrepreneurs. So they look at the problem. Yeah, okay, I get it. They look for the solution that can be used in multiple industries.
Absolutely. We really focus a lot now on making the capstones more focused on innovation and entrepreneurship and commercializable ideas, which is fantastic. And believe it or not, this event has grown so much, became so successful that now it's a placement platform. Students are getting internship offers and on-the-spot interviews during the Innovation Fair.
How long it took you to promote the platform, let's say? How long this initiative been running until it started basically to pay back?
I mean, it's been running for quite a while, but in the last 5 years, we revamped it completely to be more focused on entrepreneurship. And this is when we saw it take off completely, So it became like a flagship event for us.
This is amazing. I'm really glad to hear that the University of Wollongong is coming up with such solution for the students. I have another question. It's more, let's say, the generalized question. What do you think in general how the tech industry is improving, developing, evolving in UAE, and how does the education play the role in this?
I think the tech industry is moving at a remarkable pace in the UAE. UAE has positioned, is leading this digital transformation era in the region with a digital economy that's going to exceed $140 billion by 2030. So it's really crazy, the pace of change. So that positions the country as a pioneer and the leader in the adoption of emerging technologies. And this is rare to see. I always tell my students, I think the UAE and specifically Dubai is almost run like a startup. You know, it's almost innovative. It's almost at the forefront, not afraid to try new things. And we see this.
Yeah, they risk a lot. I agree with you. With all the ideas coming up, it's like UAE is always in the first lane, first
Yes,
row.
and it's a top-down approach. Let's try it in the government sector, all the entities, and then it trickles down to the. So so it's evolving really rapidly. So now in that context, education plays a key role because you need to train and shape the future workforce that are going to keep pace with this evolution, right?
But do you think that educational establishments are doing the right job into, let's say, into changing the direction of this game, or how much are we keeping up with those changes and how much are we helping for these changes to happen?
It's a great question. Change is difficult. It's challenging to keep up with it, especially that the industry is moving so fast and the technological landscape is evolving so rapidly while universities are more traditional, right? But I think, at least in my university, we make it a priority to become agile, you know, to always keep aligned with what's happening in the industry. And it's really critical because our output is the input for the industry. So if we're not aligned, we're not preparing the right profiles and the right skills for the next generation of professionals.
Another question I have is, do you think that, for example, the small skill orientated institute or like bigger institute, let's say TeachMeCode is a very big startup and very initiative startup. How do you think that we're helping the universities and the industry in general to, I think maybe we are closing the gaps in some things that universities still need time to prepare or to bring it in, because the changes for the universities are, I won't say on a global level, but it's more major rather than the changes on a smaller scale.
I think it's an excellent question. You need an ecosystem of players. You don't just one type of institution. So universities are more like holistic, you know, they focus on like well-rounded skills, typical programs, traditional skills, and so
Yeah,
on.
more of a traditional
Yes.
approach to this whole thing.
But I think the smaller institutes play a key role because you guys are more agile.
We have more freedom to
Yes,
move, right?
absolutely. Like any startup, you have freedom, you have agility, so you can adapt very quickly. So we're talking about the fast change, right? Changing a program in university will take a long time. It easily can take a year or so, especially if you have an accredited program. You have a lot of regulatory frameworks and things you have to go through. I think the role that smaller institutions and bigger ones like TeachMeCode bring is they complement what we do very nicely by bringing in the latest and more emerging skills and rapidly evolving with the landscape so we can complement each other all the time. We build the profile, we build well-rounded individuals and professionals, and you guys keep upskilling them all the time so they keep pace.
I'll tell you something from my personal experience. In case of Wollongong University, you guys are very proactive, you're very welcoming, and moreover, you are not scared in partnering up with institutes, with training centers or any other facilities. In fact, you are not scared of this, let's say, game changers around, the risk takers around. You bring them in. Like you're trying to come up with the new programs together, you're trying to come up with the more initiative together, which is amazing because I think this is one of the ways on how education can support the technology and any changes and any idea that comes further on.
Absolutely. Look, I personally believe that the future is in collaboration. You can't succeed on your own. Each of us brings their own strength, right? So by combining our strengths, we're going to succeed better. That's the idea. You know, you guys bring new ideas. I mean, I remember your colleague speaking about this mobile caravan running.
Yes, yeah, it's in progress.
It's in progress and we're really waiting for it. But bringing exciting things like that, you know, educational competitions, things on a yacht happening in a fantastic place. You know, these are things that, you know,
It has to be there, right?
you bring like a new flavor that we don't have, and we bring an environment and a place.
You bring the environment, you bring already, like as you said, this traditional approach on how things has to be done. Yeah, and then here we are trying to change the game. Spicing up things.
Yes.
Okay, I want to go to a very exciting topic for me. It's a woman in code. So, what do you think are the some unique challenges that women are facing in this industry, in tech industry? Because there is, and it's still a very, how can I tell you, it's still a fresh industry for a woman. We're still scared of it.
When I started my career, there was much fewer women in the tech industry. Now there is more women leading teams, building things, you know, stirring the pot, and it's beautiful. And I think to a certain degree, change is happening. It could be slow in certain areas, but it is happening. Companies are realizing more and more that diverse teams bring innovative solutions. They bring representation of the different categories of people in the society. And that's why they're seeking, you know, female talent more and more. So that's really good. There is more awareness about gender bias. There is more awareness about gender gap. You know, these things, people never used to talk about them. So if we talk about the specific challenges, I think the gender bias is still there. There's still the idea that women cannot achieve the same as men, that, you know, they have other responsibilities, so they're not going to be totally focused on their career, that they cannot be a successful professional and, you know, have children, for example, or a family at the same time. These are implicit biases. It's hard to remove because...
Well, I dare any man to multitask the way we do.
Yeah, that's true. But that, as a result, I think most women have to work much harder to prove themselves.
We have to do it twice.
Exactly.
To
If
prove
not
a
more.
point. Exactly. We have to do it twice.
But another interesting challenge, Zia, is this imposter syndrome, right? So it's very interesting for me because I even see it in my students. For men or male, you know, if they know 40% of something, they're going to say, I'm a professional in this, you know. But if a woman knows 80% of the topic, she always doubts, you know, do I need to do more? Do I need to learn?
For us, we've been doubted for so long that we doubt ourselves.
Exactly. Even your cameraman agrees, you know. You know. So I think this is something we have to work on ourselves to have this the confidence. Exactly. We can do it. We can achieve it. Who says that, you know, we're not enough? No, we are more than enough.
In general, everything that woman touches becomes very beautiful. So even in a tech industry, we're entering this industry with a fresh look, with a new approach, and with a gentle touch. So what do you think about the AI? This is, I think, it's been a topic for the past couple of years, but the further we go, the more it expands. How it's changing the whole industry. It is a huge game changer because everything we believed in before, you can just cross over it.
I think it's going to be the most changing you know, I don't know, most transformative technology of our lifetime, for sure. I mean, AI is definitely not a new concept, but it just became mainstream now because of Gen AI tools that made things more accessible. So before ChatGPT, before generative AI, you needed to be a computer scientist and write some code to interact with these models. Now, the genius part about ChatGPT is not the model, it's the interface. You know, chatbot, intuitive interface, conversational. Anyone can use it, even a child. That's what made the adoption, you know, of this technology so rapid. So how is it going to impact things? I think on the education level, AI is going to be a game changer because it's going to democratize education. It's going to make education more personalized, right? So imagine having virtual tutors or intelligent systems that adapt to the learning style of students, that teaches them at their own pace, that's available to them 24/7. This is huge for students, right?
I mean, it gives them a lot of opportunities. I agree with you. How it's going to, it contradicts the whole idea of having a traditional education system in place.
No, I don't think. I think that it's a natural evolution of things. Things have to evolve and change, right? We can't be stuck in the same way. So education will just be of different nature, right?
Do you think we shall feel threatened by this AI is developing on this rapid speed? Because what I'm saying is, I remember back in my days back in my days,
That's not that long ago. It's only a few years ago.
I just like to use it when I see younger people around back in my days. So yeah, what I'm saying is, I remember that we used to write this assignments, then proofread them, then submit them on Turnitin, then based on the response, you do this, you do that to make sure that your job belongs to you. Right now, it takes me 30 minutes to write a final paper. You take from one app, you put it on another app, you humanize it, you do it here. You can proofread it just to, not the.
It's a very interesting debate, let me tell you. It's a very interesting debate. A lot of people are excited by the opportunity, but a lot are also threatened by what this means for the existing system. Look, I think that if ultimately students have to learn the core skills. The dangerous path is if they start using this from the very beginning and it becomes like a crutch where, it does all their work for them and they don't gain any skills at all. That's very dangerous in my view.
I mean, it's for lazy people, no?
It's not that. I mean, because if they learn it too early, it's the timing, in my view. If they learn it too early, they're going to depend on it completely without understanding how it happened. I think the power of these tools is for people who can do the job in an excellent way, but they use the tool to boost their productivity, right? So you need to be able to write this essay or write this paper yourself. The best way is to write it, give it to it, to refine it, to polish it, to make it flow smoothly. You have to also be able to assess the result,
how to understand what is given, what is written.
If you
correct.
don't know how to do it, you will not be able to assess the result. Think about that. And that's what I tell my students. If you use this tool to generate code for you, let's say, for example, because coding is if you do that, you need to know coding very well to understand if this code is well written or not. Does it have bugs or not? How can you integrate the pieces together? If you don't know coding, you will never gonna be able to do that. So I would say I personally would encourage introducing these tools for the last year students, the ones who learned already all the skills, but now they're just using a modern tool to make themselves more productive, give themselves superpowers in a sense.
Exactly, without having the fundamentals, without knowing the basics.
It's not going to work. And even the output that you get, the best output you get from people who have very clear thought process. People think that prompt engineering is easy. You write a sentence, it's a magic box. And no, it's not like that. The quality of the result comes from the quality of the input. You literally have to detail the steps and your thought process and what you need exactly and the context and the constraint. This is when you're going to get the best results.
Oh, about the prompt engineering, our founder, he recently has released the book. I'm going to give you the one signed copy as well. Yeah, this is the book. And he was telling me, he's like, Ziba, you don't know how many hours of working it took me to test everything until I knew that this is the way you put this one, this is the way you do it, and until he came up with the manual on how to use it. I think this book would be a lifesaver for many students who is interested, yes. And I don't know, I'm so proud that we have it here. Yes, yes.
This is art and science combined, right? It's not just about writing anything, how to write it, how to structure. And I find people who understand how the models work are the best prompt engineers because they know what the models, how they work and how they generate the result.
Well, he has tested everything that is written here many times, multiple times, and soon he is coming.
Amazing.
So Professor May, I'm very sad to end this episode. I'm really hoping to have a second part. It was a honor. It was a pleasure to have you here. And thank you so much for being our guest. And just a sneak peek, we're going to sign a memorandum of understanding with Wollongong University very soon to collaborate on a couple of projects. And I believe that this collaboration is going to be very productive and it's going to bring amazing results for both of us. And we're going to come up with a great product for the students and for the future generation.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure. It's exciting to be here. And I'm excited about the future, of our.
Well, we are shaping the future, woman in tech. Thank you so much again. Bye, guys.